Welcome everyone. I'm Santosh representing Vedabi Global Services, a specialist in providing support and services in BI and EPM space. We provide pre-sale support, health checkup and optimization, installation configuration, upgrade migration, support and maintenance, end-to-end implementation. So I'll be delivering a webinar on lifecycle management in EPM 11.1.2 versions. So I'll be going through uh, what is LCM, supported EPM products in LCM, how to use LCM, the features that are being introduced in 11.1.2 version, auditing LCM migrations, and recommendation while using LCM. So what is LCM? LCM is lifecycle management, a utility that provides a consistent way for Oracle EPM products to migrate an application, a repository, or individual artifacts across product environments and operating systems. So LCM is basically utility provided by Oracle from the 11 version and used for migrations across different platforms or different environments of an EPM. So when we talk about migration, it differs with respect to upgrade in that in migration different artifacts or objects of an application are being moved from one environment to another environment. So in an upgrade, the particular version of the product gets upgraded, or we take that particular product to the new release. So when we say artifacts, it can be like data forms, some scripts like cal script or reports, so or some other files that are relevant to the application. So these are like artifacts which are part of the migration. And there is migration definition file, which is a file which would have the information about source, destination, and about the environment or migration environment. So this is about why we should use LCM. So LCM having some features such as we can view applications directories, search for artifacts, we can migrate, as we discussed, from different file systems, we can view the selected artifacts, we can audit the migrations, and we can see the status of all the migrations that we do, and importing and exporting individual artifacts. We can say like selective migration is possible through LCM, migrating complete application suites, migrating multiple applications. So what are all those products in EPM suite that those are supported or those support LCM? So mostly all the products support LCM, like shared services, SBS, the reporting analysis products, the financial consolidation products like HFM planning, financial close management, and EPM architect, and FDQM, ERP integrator, HPCM, and deployment metadata. So we can say there are very few products which are not supported by LCM, which would be SBS Studio, SBS integration services. So how do we use LCM? So there are two ways you can use LCM. One is from shared services, another from command line or the command prompt in Windows. So LCM is something which you can find in shared services console if you open it from the browser. And if we talk about the earliest version of EPM or the 1.2.2 version, it had simple export and import options. And for if we talk about the command line, there is a utility.bat you will find in the EPM Oracle instance, that is EPM system 1 by default, and the bin directory inside it. So if we say like for command line utility, there will be a MDF file which will be a XML file which will have the definition of all the operation to be performed as a part of the migration. So here for an example, LCM MDF is an XML which is having definition, so we can call it from the command line utility with the syntax as utility.bat if it's Windows system, and it will be utility.sh if it's a Unix based system. So after that we can provide the path, a complete path to the XML file, and we can just export or hit enter. So we can think of any like do we have any order for import or export of the artifacts? So yes, if it is import. So while importing we need to follow order. As you can see here, the EPMA artifact should be imported prior to all other, then the shared services, then reporting analysis, then the SBS artifacts, planning artifacts, then HFM. So depending on the application or the type of application you are migrating, it will define the order of the import. And if we talk about export, we do not require any specific order for exporting the artifacts. So this is a screenshot from shared services console. If you can see, the GSK app is the application which is under the default application group. And if you can see the artifact list tab, this is the artifact categorized in LCM, and you can just check the particular artifact that you want and click on export. It is as simple as that. So this is a one section in LCM, like deployment metadata. We can think of like a particular server where we have foundation services, so that particular machine will have the deployment metadata that will be specific to the server or the environment, like host name or certain registry properties specific to the server environment. So if in case we have to change some properties, we can just export, as you can see in the screenshot, like properties of the shared services, export for edit, and we can just do the edit what we want to do in particular properties file, and we can just get it imported in the same on the same server. So this was about basic LCM till now. We'll discuss about the new features that are being introduced in the 1.2 release for LCM. So it introduced the simplified UI, simplified migration definition file. It has improved the migration status report. The ERPI, that is ERP integrator support for LCM, has been added. So new artifacts are possible to be migrated for FR, that is financial reporting. Those are annotations, user POV, and batch jobs. For planning, it adds report scripts. For reporting analysis, we can replace all artifacts or just the new ones. For classic planning application or classic HFM application, we can create the application shell. We have new LCM role in this release, that is LCM designer role. This new LCM can list structure command, and we can also configure LCM on a shared location. So if you talk about the user interface for LCM, it has been simplified in this release. So previously when we talk about the 11.11 versions of EPM, they used to have the migration wizard for LCM and several user clicks that user had to do for exporting certain artifacts. In this release of EPM, or in 1 to 2 release, we can rename and or delete a folder which is actually under the LCM import export directories. So that is possible from shared services. When repeat export is chosen, LCM code automatically refers to the MDF file already stored in chosen folder and it can perform export. When import is chosen, LCM code automatically refers to MDF file stored in the changed folder and perform the import. So in the screenshot that you can see here is the export and import, which are the MDF, that is a definitions file of the migrations. And if we talk about the different operation options for LCM, it has destination option that is being replaced as a migration option. And if you can see here the import options, there are several options which can be customized as per the requirement of migration, and we do not need to restart or reboot any server for having these changes in effect. So what is this new LCM designer role? So this new LCM designer role has been added for granular access to LCM functionality, and it is a subset of the LCM administrator role. So we can say LCM designer role is like which gives the permission of exporting certain artifacts, but it does not allow import of those artifacts in certain environment or to another environment. So for example, here we can say Sarah is a person who is responsible for developing content in the development planning environment, such as forms, menus, and reports. When the development process is complete, Sarah does an export of the modified content and makes it available to Bob, who is another person who would be responsible for importing into the target environment. So here Sarah should not have the capability to import content into some another environment. So in this scenario, Sarah can be given as LCM designer role and Bob will be given the LCM administrator role so that he can import. So can we audit the LCM migrations? Yes, we can audit the LCM migration. So only shared services administrator or the user who is having shared services administrator rights can generate and view audit reports. And auditing must be enabled before you can generate audit reports. So in this way, we can audit every action taken within lifecycle management to the artifact report. And if you can see this particular option in shared services menu from administration, and we can see it under reports option under audit reports. So there are several recommendations that should be followed while you are using LCM. So development, test, and production environments identical in terms of names, including names, data sources, provision, native directory, group names, applications, and applications group. So it is recommended to have the same naming conventions across the environments. And as far as the backup recovery goes, do not use LCM as your only means of backup and recovery. So LCM is mostly suited for archiving application content. For example, if a change needs to be made to a dimension in SBIS or planning, in order to ensure that changes can be reverted back if something goes wrong. So this can serve as a temporary backup for the development team. Also, do not migrate artifacts which are under shared services deployment metadata, because these artifacts are environment specific and should not be migrated. the quick edit option which we already saw in earlier slide is for editing and replacing the artifact in the same environment, or you can say on the same server. And one more most important thing is LCM should be used within the same EPM release environment, so it should not be used in between different EPM releases. Thank you for participating in the webinar. We'll look forward to see you again in upcoming webinars for Vedabi Global Services. Please contact us for any query related to BI or EPM space. The email and mobile numbers are on contact us slide. Have a great time.